Good evening and welcome to a special presentation brought to you by the Monroeville Communications Department. Tonight, the Municipality of Monroeville, in collaboration with the League of Women Voters of Greater Pittsburgh, brings you this forum of candidates running for local government seats here in Monroeville. My name is Judy Clack, Vice President of Voter Services, and I'll be serving as the moderator. The League of Women Voters is nonpartisan, that neither supports nor opposes any candidate or any political party. Rather, we encourage the informed and active participation of all residents in government. Through this forum, both the Municipality of Monroeville and the League of Women Voters hope to create an avenue through which the candidates for these open seats can speak to their potential voters while also allowing you to see and hear the candidate pool to make an informed decision with your vote. Monroeville has open seats for its tax collector as well as 4 open council seats in the odd-numbered wards, 1, 3, 5, and 7. Monroeville will also be welcoming a new mayor in 2026, as the current mayor, Dr. Nick Gressack, is term limited after completing his 2nd consecutive term in that position. Let's meet the candidates. Starting from my right, running for council in Ward 3, we have Mr. John Washington.
Hello.
He is opposed by Dr. Gary DiLorenzo, a Republican. Next is one of our 2 mayoral candidates, Dr. Mandal Singh, a Democrat. Mr. Dennis Biondo, also a Democrat, will be on the ballot for 2 seats. He is running for mayor as well as for Ward 7 council seat, where he is the incumbent.
Hello.
Mr. Biondo is opposed in Ward 7 by Ms. Allison Ramsey, who is also a Democrat. We'd also like to mention 3 other candidates on your Monroeville ballot, all of whom were invited to attend this forum. Mr. Joe Hizzy, a Democrat and the incumbent for Ward 1, originally agreed to attend but had to pull out due to a family emergency. He has no opposition. Mr. Mike Adams, a Democrat, is the incumbent in Ward 5 and also has no opposition. And Mr. Pat Fulkerson, a Democrat, is the incumbent tax collector and has no opposition. Okay, let's discuss tonight's format. This forum is being broadcast live on Government Access Television and will be made available to the public in its entirety with no editing to both this TV cable channel and the Municipality of Monroeville's YouTube page. The audience must be silent throughout the forum and will be asked to refrain from clapping or making verbal outbursts of any kind, or the moderator, me, will ask you to leave. Questions will be asked in a rotating manner. Each question will be addressed to all candidates. The response time for each question is 2 minutes. And candidates will have a visual notification about the time remaining for each answer. Strict time limits will be enforced. Time for any rebuttal must be taken from the candidate's next response. Candidates shall not verbally attack or interrupt each other. At the end of the forum, each candidate will have 1 minute for closing remarks, and the moderator's decisions are final. Now we'll get started with questions, and we'll begin on my right. The first question. To help your voters get to know you, please respond to these 2 questions. What inspired you to run for local office? And what specific experiences do you feel have prepared you to serve for the seat for which you are running? So what inspired you and what prepared you? And first will be Mr. Washington.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. As far as inspiration, I guess I believe very strongly in public service. I've been involved in Monroeville for many, many years now, mostly as a volunteer through sports organizations and things of that nature. So I believe that people should give back to their communities and that you should want to be involved to some degree. My inspiration was also from my father-in-law and my uncle, who were involved in local politics for many, many years. Always encouraged me to get involved, and I always resisted. And now, because I've had so many people tell me they think I would do a good job and be fair, I've decided to once again. I ran once before, didn't work out for me, but so now I'm running again. As far as experience, like I said, I've been involved in many, many organizations, particularly sports, youth sports, high school sports. I've also been on the Parks and Rec Board that I've served on in Monroeville for 3 years. I was the president of our homeowners association board when I lived in Berkeley Square. That was for a couple of years. I'm now involved with my local board with my new homeowners association in Glenwood. So that's my experience. I'm a graduate of the Virginia Military Institute. I have a degree in history. And like I said, I feel like I should give back, and a lot of people think that I would be good at this, and I believe that I'd do a good job also, so.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Washington. Next up, Dr. DiLorenzo, the same questions.
Thank you, Judy. First, a couple comments. Who am I and why am I here tonight? I'm originally from Newcastle. I moved to Pittsburgh in the mid-'70s. I met my wife, Patrice, in 1987. We bought a house on Colonial Drive in Monroeville, and we've been living there ever since. We raised our 2 children, and they both went to Gateway High School. And I'm a big believer in how Monroeville has been a wonderful community for me and my family. A little bit of background of why I'm running for council here is, first of all, I wanted to give kudos to Bob Stevenson, our current councilman. I understand for personal reasons he's not running again. And I was reached out on both sides of the aisle to consider running for a candidacy for Ward 3. So I thought about it, and give you a little bit of background on the experience side. I'm a retired professor from Cal U of PA. I worked in industry, PPG, and Westinghouse Electric for over 30 years. After my doctorate, I was chair of the Computer Information Systems program at Cal U. On the customer service side, related to community service in particular, a couple thoughts that I'd like to talk through tonight that you could be aware of. I was on the board of the Municipal Water Authority, the Municipal Authority, for 10 years. I acted as chair for 4 years. And those of you that are over in the University Park area, I was president of the Park Swim Club for 4 years, and also helped out in other community service endeavors, such as a local church, St. Bernadette Church. I was one of the co-founders of the 250 Club, where we raised over $100,000 for the school. So I'll get into a little bit more detail later on why I'm running, but my only comment is I prayed about it, I looked for wisdom, and it brought me here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. DiLorenzo. Now, next is our first candidate for mayor, Dr. Singh.
So I'm Mandal, and my inspiration is that I have been in Monroeville since 2010, and it was 3 years into my retirement, and since then I have been active in community and in many of the local organizations. In addition, I was at the board of the library, public library, our nice public library, 6 years with them, and then I got elected to the school board. So this is my final year. I think I have considerable experience with the local organizations, as well as I work at the universities and research institutions. And I we run a little poetry group. We write poems, and it's open. Anybody can join. You walk in and you are a member of that group. So I have been with the group working in every possible capacity to accommodate everyone and for the benefit of everyone. So that's more mixed with experience as well as inspiration. And I would like to contribute to the growth of Monroeville and future. We kind of, overall, we are kind of, sometimes you feel like you have picked out. And it's the state also, but in general.
Thank you, Dr. Singh.
Thank you.
Next is our second candidate for mayor and also for council seat 7, Mr. Biondo.
Yes, what inspired me to run? I actually have distantly related to John, Mr. Washington, and it's my family as well. My dad is involved in local government. He is started as an assistant county solicitor, which is what I do now. He is a solicitor for Castle Shannon Borough. He's the director of Kane Nursing Homes, which are public nursing homes, publicly run nursing homes. My mom she was a lunch lady at the schools for a while, and then she was a special ed aide at Evergreen Elementary School. My brother's a teacher. So I have a lot of background with people involved in public service. My family's very involved in public service. Also, my kids, I grew up here in Monroeville. Monroeville's always been a great place to live and really raise your family. We have a great park system. The library is great. I want to make sure that we continue that so that my kids can have the same kind of experience that I have here. As far as the experiences that qualify me to serve, as I stated, I am an assistant county solicitor, previously worked for the public defender's office. I have a lot of government experience. I served on council here for the last 3.5 years. Prior to that, I was on the planning commission. So I've seen it from a lot of different angles. I've made the connections with the state leaders. I interned with John Logan when I was in college. I know Brandon Markozik, Senator Piscatano. I know the players that are involved in that make the decisions. I was part of the group that hired our manager, Alex. I've been around. I've done a lot in just the 3.5 years that I've been here on council. That's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Ramsey, who is also running in council seat 7.
Hello. What inspired me to run is I've been a volunteer firefighter for the past 31 years for Monroeville. My family is also, like everybody else up here, has been very involved with the politics side of Monroeville and also volunteering. My experience for serving, I've been on the Democratic Committee for 10 plus years. I've been the manager for Monroeville EMS for number 6 for the past 6 years. I have very well knowledge. I'm a lifelong resident of Monroeville. My family's been here. My husband's grown up here, so I think it'd be a good thing.
Thank you. And now we're going to start the second question with Ms. Ramsey. And this is the question for all of you. If elected to this position, what will be a couple areas of focus for you, and how will those benefit the community?
A couple areas of focus would be the parks in Garden City, trying to get them updated a little bit, dealing with the Garden City Swim Club, which I know the borough's been working with here recently, and then also maintaining public safety with the police, the fire, and the EMS. Thank
you. And now, Mr. Biondo.
So one of the things we've been working on here for really, frankly, since we started I started with the prior council is the capital improvements project. There's a lot. We haven't passed the capital budget since I've been on, and it was quite a long time prior to that. That's your vehicles and your maintenance on your facilities. That's one thing that I really think we need to, I think that's something we are working on right now, and we might get it done by the end of the year. But I'd like to stay on top of that and keep that going. One other thing that is probably a little bit more boring, but I think it's something that would be a great benefit to the community is we have this thing called a sidewalk fund, where if a developer is building, they're required to put a sidewalk in. If for some reason they cannot due to the terrain or or it just doesn't make sense to have it there, then they donate money to our sidewalk fund. I'd like to use that. I don't know that we've ever actually used our sidewalk fund. There are places where you could connect neighborhoods. You could connect people to the parks. And I think that would be a very, it would help our children and our less mobile residents, and it would reduce our use of, our reliance on our vehicles. I just think that would be, that's something that we haven't done in the past, and I think that's something that we could and should consider doing in the future.
Thank you. Dr. Singh?
So I am very people person, and I would like to be accessible to my constituents. I maybe would like to start a forum, maybe monthly, that they can reach the mayor if they have something to say. And sometimes people feel that they haven't been answered. And so I think accessibility is one aspect of it. And the other aspect is transparency. And my all decisions will be open to public. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. DiLorenzo?
I have 3 items that I am pursuing as a candidate. First one is a capital improvement plan. Second one is taxes. And the third is services for the community. The capital improvement plan that's going to be drafted this year, that's going to be a strategic document for the next 50 to 60 years for Monroeville. It's going to tie into a variety of things, such as the mall, the convention center, and the hotel. The proximity of this particular document is going to have an impact for Monroeville in the future, and I have a background of developing strategic plans in my prior career and community service environments. In particular, at one time I managed a $14 million plan, smaller scale, obviously, than Monroeville, but I have a background in that I would like to be part of that process, working with the council. Secondly, related to taxes, I would like to be a steward for our tax dollars. Understand that's a burden for everyone. Our 2025 budget of $41 million, that's a 9.76% increase from 2024. Taxes are always going to be an issue. We have other funding projects going on. Reassessments of property has an impact on our tax base. I'm looking forward so that we have an infrastructure growth in Monroeville with businesses that increases revenue to minimize the impact for our tax burden constituents. And lastly, our services. One thing about Monroeville, we're a single municipality that provides regional services. We basically have about 30,000 residents, but during the day, we have over 40. It's a very strong infrastructure environment. So we want to make sure our services continue to be stellar. And those are the 3 items that I will hopefully get a chance to talk to you about it more. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Washington?
I'm going to be brief because I don't want to keep saying the same things over and over again. But absolutely maintain services in the municipality. Monroeville does a great job on many fronts, and I'd like to maintain services while being fiscally responsible, naturally. The walkable and bikeable, I've been saying that for years, that I wish Monroeville was more walkable and more bikeable. Because it's so big, it would be very difficult, but if we could just start out making sections more walkable and more bikeable, so we're not so reliant on our automobiles. Public safety, maintaining our parks and recreation, and basically just keep moving forward so we don't stagnate. over the years, so,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, third question, and we're going to start with Dr. DiLorenzo. With the mall site recently having been purchased, what would you like to see the area become that would best benefit Monroeville?
I was waiting for that question. It's on everybody's mind. I believe what's going to probably happen, hopefully, it's going to be a combination of a variety of things. The capital improvement plan that's being developed by the municipality this year is going to be a coordinated structure with the Walmart organization that purchased that project for $34 million. One of the areas that there should be a collaborative environment. I don't know if you want to call it a committee, a forum, but it should have representatives from a variety of individuals throughout the community. Not only the Walmart organization and the municipality and council and our municipal manager, but constituents throughout Monroeville. So they have a vehicle for input. And then you basically tie that into the capital improvement plan so that whatever Walmart develops from a design standpoint, there's a fine balance that can be managed there. So that not only is it collaborated with the interests of the people of Monroeville, but that design solution, although it meets ordinances and it's a legal design, it creates a whole new vision for Monroeville that creates and promotes infrastructure growth. Infrastructure growth increases tax revenue. Tax revenue ties into the budget to minimize taxes for the constituents. So it's a total package that needs to be coordinated with a variety of individuals, and I would like to hopefully be part of that process, hopefully starting next year, since that would be an area that catches my interest.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Singh?
So, as a public citizen, I believe, first of all, that if Walmart purchased our mall, then, they have an upper hand how they are going to develop it. We should coordinate, we should facilitate. And it's kind of end of a sad story that mall declined the way it did. And so we have a good part of decisions is on the business side, Walmart side, what they want to do with it. And we can make our wishes, but the main thing is we should keep it as much accessible as possible and open to public. There used to be a space where our senior citizens could walk around in the winter days to just have a place to exercise indoor, and it was a great resource to have. And so we should rescue it as much as we can. And the residential part, obviously, is not going to be able access to public. And so actually, it's a open question how it will unfold. We can try it to influence it, but it is a corporation who has bought it, and we should first facilitate as much as we can, and we will and hope for the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Biondo?
So I think one of the good things about it is we in 2023 we passed towards the end of 2023 we passed a comprehensive zoning ordinance, which really opened up the possibilities to what could be developed there. I agree with Dr. DiLorenzo and Dr. Singh that we need to collaborate with them. It is a private entity. They are a private entity. They do have the upper hand. But I think they will. I also believe they want to be a good partner with us as well. That's the previous mall owners really just were not. Let's be frank about it. They were not the best partners. Now it's in it's under a new ownership, and I think we can have some influence. We can help guide them in the right direction as to what we want to see. What would I like to see? I'd like to see some type of senior housing over there. I think that would be great, because I think there will be some restaurants, some commercial. You're going to have those type of businesses over there. That's just what's naturally going to be drawn to that area. If you have some senior housing over there, that's walkable to those areas, or at least you're able to get there quicker. That's going to be very beneficial to both the seniors and those businesses that are there as well. I think you would have really all types of different kinds of businesses. Currently, there is a movie theater there. I'd like to see that type of that stay there, and other an outdoor space, outdoor recreational space. I think that would be a great thing to have in that area as well. I think it's really a tremendous opportunity for us to have at least some influence on what gets built there.
Thank you. Ms. Ramsey?
I think we should work with the people that purchase the Monroeville Mall property to make it more of a family-friendly place to go and hang at night with your family, more things for families to do together in the evening that will really highlight Monroeville and bring in better businesses.
Thank you. Mr. Washington?
Bring back the skating rink. No, I really would like to see, a revitalization there, and the possibilities are endless. I agree with just about what everybody's saying here, is that we're going to have to collaborate and come to some kind of agreement or collaboration with, the purchasers as far as what goes there. But I would love to see a nice music venue, personally. Something along the lines of maybe like the waterfront, what they've done down there with multi-use residential and things like that. I love the idea of a senior center where, walkable stuff. I walk at the mall still to this day. But the possibilities that can happen there are many, many. And I think a lot of people would come up with some really good ideas if we could just put our heads together. But the music venue would be really fun. Mm-hmm. So, like the old Holiday House, if everybody remembers the Holiday House.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, question 4, and we're going to start with Mr. Biondo. What strategies would you support to attract families to come to Monroeville and those who are here to stay in Monroeville?
So one of the things that we currently are doing, and I apologize, I can't help it. I really default to what's going on right now. So I keep saying one of the things that we're doing. But one of the things that we're doing right now is we have a comprehensive plan for our parks. I think that is for our recreation and parks, I think that is one of the things that certainly gets families to stay here. It might not necessarily draw families here, but once they're here, it's when you realize what types of programs there are. I have 2 5-year-olds. I have 5-year-old twins. They're involved in swimming. They go to the library for the story times. The library has a lot of good programming for kids. Parks and Rec has a lot of the same. They run soccer, baseball, a lot of the recreational activities. Those are the kind of things that will get you to stay. I think really what the last question is what is going to draw families here. Something that is built at the mall site that will allow people the convenience, and that's really what we have now, and what we've had in the past is the convenience to do everything within Monroeville without having to leave the boundaries of Monroeville. You got grocery stores, you got department stores. Your parks, you can play your baseball games, you go up to the park and play basketball. You can do everything right here in Monroeville without having to leave. Another thing is schools, the school district, they are, they're their own entity. That's really what drives people, I think, a lot of younger families to a certain area, which is kind of out of our hands. But to keep them here, once they are here, continue to invest in the parks and make sure they're nice places to live, and continue the programming that we have going on and make it better.
Thank you. Dr. Singh?
So I have lived in many places, and Monroeville is my final destination, looks like. And so I can give you a perspective also as an outsider. I think there are many things go in a mix when you move, and people should feel comfortable about it. I'm with the schools, and school plays a big role, and they are trying very hard. But there are many factors in a school district. So we are racially mixed society, and we have literally, I would say, close to being a minority majority. It add up everybody, and so I think we have to design things that everybody feels comfortable, and it's so that drives the school part is so the integrating the society, people getting feeling at home. And I think one of the best things the Monroeville has is the parks and recreation portion. They run very well, parks are run very, very well, and I use it. I should use more and be more active, but I'm reasonably active. And I think try to be inclusive. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. DiLorenzo.
I think this question related to families being interested in moving to Monroeville is a twofold answer. One relates to the school district. Those families that are with their children, raising their children, that's a conversation for the school board. I like to take it from a municipality standpoint, and I believe that gets back to the capital improvement plan. The capital improvement plan will tie in the services that Monroeville provides for the community. We have 111 miles of municipal roads that we maintain. We have 5 different volunteer fire departments. We have our municipal water and sewer services that are actually provided here in the municipality. Our public works environment is tremendous here with our garbage that we put out. It's absolutely wonderful. And then the other area is our municipal parks. We have 21 different municipal parks that are available for the community. So if you look at that, why would a family want to move to Monroeville? The future of Monroeville is very promising. It's very bright. That you can tie that into the municipality having a capital improvement plan for growth and infrastructure. A part of that will be services. Those services are going to tie into the environment for the roads, the fire department, the police department, so on and so forth, with excellent public parks. It's a wonderful community, and I look forward to promoting it in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Washington.
Yeah, again, more of the same. Dr. DiLorenzo is correct. I mean, the school situation is for the school board. All we can do is work with them and give them support where we can through some collaboration there. But yeah, maintaining services again and keeping it affordable for young people with school-age children to move here. Make it easy for them, make it safe, so we maintain the services, we keep our public safety in order. We point out all those things. Maybe we need a marketing program that we need to reach out and say, hey, everyone in Pittsburgh knows where Monroeville is. There's more signs that say Monroeville. Well, maybe the same amount that say Pittsburgh, but everybody knows where it's at. And, if we promote it in the right way, the future is bright, and we do have a lot of opportunity here. That's why I could have lived anywhere. I went to school in Virginia, and I've owned 4 houses in Monroeville. Both of my kids went to Gateway, got great educations. Like I said, I could have gone anywhere, and I choose to live here. And I'd really like to attract both of my kids back to here, if that would be possible. But yeah, so I'm optimistic, and like I said, I think if we maintain our services, keep it affordable, be fiscally responsible about it, and make sure people feel safe, then that'll take care of itself.
Thank you. Ms. Ramsey.
strategies to support families coming to Monroeville. We have a great parks department. The parks are beautiful all the way around in Monroeville. They do a lot of fun events, movie nights, the music at the amphitheater, offering different kind of events might help promote to make people come to Monroeville. We offer the snow removal, great trash removal. Public Works is great. They did an excellent job with this past storm that hit Monroeville. There's a fire training center in Monroeville that we are working on, trying to provide training to get the community involved with that.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Question 5, I am going to skip because I think you answered it in your responses. And let me read what I was going to ask you. We often discuss change in this type of forum, but what do you like about the current direction Monroeville is going, and what would you like to see continue? And I think you have spoken to that in the last question, so I'm going to move on. And the person who will get it first is Dr. Singh.
Yes.
Local governments in this whole area were challenged recently with the storm a couple weeks ago that caused widespread damage and left a significant number of people without power. What did you observe, being a resident of Monroeville, in the terms of the municipality's emergency response, and what, if anything, would you pursue to see done differently?
So I must confess, my lights didn't go out. So personally, I was saved completely. Whereas a close friend of mine, their light was gone like 6 days. And he's very socially active. I know a lot of people still. So I think the response was, I was quite happy with the response. And the different regions got quick service and others didn't get it. This is nature thing. Once in a while it hits you and it affects so much. I think a general infrastructure improvement is answer. You know, I moved here many years ago from California, and most of the state, you don't see open wire on the street, and it's all underground. Whereas I was amazed to see there's so much wire on the street and poles and so forth. So I think there should be a gradual improvement towards looking towards the future, how things should be. And so in general, there is a ground level infrastructure improvement needed, not in response to a crisis or to a emergency, but there should be a basic issue addressed about the infrastructure all the time. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Biondo.
Yeah, so from a municipal standpoint, so I actually agree with Dr. Singh. There in California, my wife's from California, most of the wires are underground. That's not something we can do from a municipal standpoint. But what I saw from our municipal guys, so I'm right next to Evergreen Park. We have the trail that goes from Evergreen Park up to Logan's Ferry Road, which is kind of near where Gary lives. So there were a bunch of trees that went down right there. We were actually without power for 6 days ourselves, but that was our tree was up on a line, and there's really nothing that the municipality could do about that. But the Public Works took care of those trees. First of all, within the park, the one landed on the stands. And the one had actually pulled up part of the trail that goes to Logan's Ferry. But the municipal guys had those taken care of within like 2 or 3 days. We're extremely fortunate here in Monroeville. I mean, part of it is because we are a larger community. We are at least middle to upper middle class, an upper to upper middle class income here. But we, our Public Works is great. I mean, everything was taken care of very, very quickly. And they always do a great job. Our Public Works always does a great job. Our 911 service, that was another thing that was impacted by the storms. They were getting calls constantly. And we are one of the only municipalities in Allegheny County that has its own 911 service. And between the police, Public Works, they got together and the police and emergency services and Public Works, they got together and they got things taken care of very, very quickly. It just amazes me how well our operation is run here.
Thank you. Ms. Ramsey?
With the storm, I did not lose power, thank God, unlike everybody else. I think Public Works was great. I know that everybody was working 12-plus hours a day to get the trees all cut down and trying to open up the roadways. I know the fire departments were out doing safety checks on residents, delivering oxygen for people that didn't have any power and that needed oxygen. The police were there patrolling safety, handling the lights issues. I think everybody did a great job. That's it.
Thank you. Boy, I'm jealous. Mr. Washington?
I don't really have firsthand knowledge of what was going on because my lights were out and the internet wasn't working. My cell phone wasn't even working. But I did walk the neighborhood where I live down in Glenwood, and people were out and about and being supportive and seeing if anybody needed anything. I wasn't even getting emails or texts at the time. But one thing that really impressed me, and I knew and I had faith that the Public Works people were going to do what they have always done since I have lived here. And that's, take on the challenge and get it done in a timely manner. So apparently they did. That's why I still live here. And lastly, I don't know if anybody knew this, but the Parks and Rec people actually set up charging stations in the parks, which I didn't know because they sent it via email and I wasn't getting emails. But I wish I would have known that. But I was able to go to work and charge my things and then come back so that we were able to communicate. So I was just 2 days but without power. But I know the response was good. And as far as improving, I mean, there's always room for improvement, but they did a pretty darn good job, in my opinion. So,
Thank you. Dr. DiLorenzo?
Yeah, I agree with everyone at the forum here on their comments. I thought with the emergency response, Public Works, and the 911 dispatch center, I mean, that was an anomaly there with that storm, and I think people responded really, really well. One of the comments that I wanted to make that really caught my attention, that day we were not out of power where I live at in Colonial Drive. But one thing that we saw in our community, people were coming outside helping each other. And there was actually, the one example is there was actually an evergreen tree down on Logan's Ferry Road, which is one of the main roads over in our ward. And the neighborhood people came out with their saws and chainsaws, and they actually cleaned up the road. Somebody's managing traffic. It was a really good sign for the community that they were helping out the community from a service standpoint while, Public Works and Emergency Response Group were working with Duquesne Light, helping people. So I thought it was a good sign for the community, how everyone responded under that situation. And that's another reason why I really believe this, and I even have people tell me from other areas, your Public Works area and your services in Monroeville, they're stellar. They're stellar services, and you're lucky to have those services. Thank you.
Boy, and I thought this was going to be a completely different kind of answer. Yay, Monroeville Public Works. Okay, next question is, and we will be starting with Dr. Singh. This one is about communication. Communication both with other people in government and your constituents. And here's the question. How do you plan to work with your fellow council members, other levels of government, and community organizations to meet municipal goals? And also, how do you plan to listen to and engage with constituents throughout your term? So how are you going to work with government, other government folks, and how are you going to work with your constituents? Dr. Singh.
Yeah, so 3 parts I see communication. One is among the council and the mayor office. I think that communication is working very well. I think the council members, they interact a lot. So I don't think I really have any improvement on that. Council A grade. And then about the constituent, yes. I think it's very important that we should communicate with our constituents, and that's one of my mottos that in my campaign, this is my second campaign, and I walked door to door as much I could. And a lot of gems of wisdom you don't get by reading good magazines, fancy magazines, trash magazines. People come out and tell you things which you would not have imagined. So that's very important, and I think I promise I will open as many emails as possible from the constituents. That's very, very important for me. Then, I think I would like to have institute a public forum where people can vent their complaints as well as appreciation if they have any. There was a third part, I'm sorry.
I think you answered, like, how would you work with your fellow council people and with other levels of government and with your constituents?
And so the other level of government is again important, which is the state you deal with, county you deal with, and the school board. And school board is very important. Just a brief comment, school decision.
Okay, time.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Dr. DiLorenzo.
On this two-part question, the first part is, one of the thoughts that I would have working with this council in the future, I would be the new kid on the block, so I would need some training to make sure I understand the job responsibilities and the job descriptions and the expectations for success. I would probably observe for a while to learn my fellow councilmen on what the issues are, how they're looking at it. They've been down certain paths more than me, so I can maybe learn from that. So the intent is, hopefully I can be a lifelong learner with them, so that over time I have a good understanding of what the issues are. And when there's times where they're asking me to come in for some feedback or support, maybe I can contribute something based on my background and experience. Related to the constituents that I would support, I think I would have a twofold session or two-point thought on that one. I try to be a visible person. I try to go out to the community. One of them would be some public sessions, some public forums that I would occasionally have. And I would like to get their feedback on areas that catch their interest. And maybe a part of that communication and collaboration to get some insight could probably tie into technology. With my background in technology, I will have either probably working through council, working through the website. We can have some functionality on that website that we can get feedback from the constituents. And lastly, we can look into social media on that kind of particular direction. I'll share that following maybe at another time as we get into the general election on a personal website that I have developed, so people will get a chance to learn more about me. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Washington.
Yeah, I think communication is relatively good. I talk to a lot of people all the time. I mean, the thing is, you got to get out there and meet with people and talk to people and ask them how they feel about certain things. I would be afraid to reach out to my fellow council people or to the public works people or to the parks and rec people. That when I've done it in the past, they're all very responsive. They're all very professional, very respectful. I like the idea of the social media stuff, but I'm on some of the municipality social media stuff already. And I know the Parks and Rec Department, they have a lot of things, even school events, going to the, the plays that they have, or to the football games, or the baseball games, or whatever it is. If you get out and you see people and they see you, as long as it's constructive communication, and not yelling or name calling, which, hopefully that wouldn't happen. But, yeah, I think getting out and talking to people and making yourself accessible is step number one. So,
Thank you.
thanks.
Ms. Ramsey?
I'm very willing to listen to everyone. I'm willing to work with everybody, problem solve issues with fellow council members and residents of Monroeville, and try to come up with resolutions to issues if we can. Very open and I'm willing to put the time in to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Biondo?
Yeah, so the first part of the question is how would we work with council, community organizations, and other government officials? I think people have hinted at that. I think we do a pretty good job already, at least amongst the council members. We also have a very good relationship with our state representative, Brandon Markozik, and State Senator Nick Piscatano. We do kind of have, just because of the size of Monroeville and the businesses that we have here, we kind of have, I don't know if I want to say an outsized influence in this area. But I think when we talk, people listen, like our state representatives listen, even our county councilwoman, Ms. Nakaradi-Chapkis, they listen to us when we have an issue. So I do think the communication there is very good. As far as communicating with constituents, personally, I think I'll stand on my record. I think I've done a great job. We recently had a very contentious development plan in the area that I got a lot of emails on, a lot of phone calls. I responded to those. As far as communication regarding our events, I think that's something that's also kind of part of the capital improvement project. The Monroeville TV, I think, is kind of transitioning to more of a Monroeville communications department, which would involve more social media, more just getting the word out better about our community events and what's going on in Monroeville. And I think that is what I think as we continue to develop that, that's something that will increase and benefit the communication from the government side to the public.
Thank you. Okay, next question, and Mr. Biondo, you're on the hot seat for this one to start. What would be your approach to balancing the budget while still investing in essential services?
So I think we do that every year. We are required to have a balanced budget, and that's Alex, our manager, and our finance department, Alex and Josie, give us their plan. It is, it has become difficult. We do have a lot of services, a lot of capital projects that need to be taken care of, but we do make it work. We did have to raise taxes this past year. There's no getting around that, but everybody did. The cost of stuff is going up, and that's, I think we did. We went as long as we could without raising taxes, and we did as little. We raised them as little as I think we had to make sure that we could continue to provide the same services, which I think is really what I think we talked about it before. That's what attracts people here. That's what keeps people here is the services that we have here. We have, our garbage pickup is just is done as part of the community. You don't get a separate bill for that. I mean, we have to maintain those things. And maybe, if we need to cut in other areas, that's what we need to look at.
Thank you. And next is Ms. Ramsey.
I think working with the municipal manager and then also the financial advisor and working with them to see where we are in the budget, to see what we can wiggle and try to balance it out to make improvements or try to wait to do the improvements if we can until we're financially more stable.
Thank you. Mr. Washington.
Yeah, it's, I I absolutely want to maintain services, and I understand that they had to raise taxes. Like you said, things are getting more and more expensive. And, I mean, it's not magic, but, you know, we can only pay for or what we can afford. So my strategy, I mean, I think I'd need a lot more information as far as where we stand on a lot of those things before I'd say exactly what a specific plan would be. But, yeah, I wouldn't want to raise taxes. And we have to balance the budget and do as much as we can to maintain the services, in particular, the garbage thing that you were talking about. I can't believe, I work all over the city, and I go to places where people, you know, they get one can. That's all they can put their garbage into. And where I live, I mean, people throw out 4 or 5 or 6, and it's gone the next day. And they do a nice job cleaning up after themselves, so that's it in a nutshell.
Thank you. Dr. DiLorenzo.
Yeah, related to the budget, the 2025 budget of $41 million, you look at it, it has line items for revenue and expenses. And that will be managed by our municipal manager with an accountability from our council also. One of the areas that I would be interested in, and well, obviously not this year, but in following years, you track outcomes and success stories for each line item to see that you do periodic outcome assessments of how you're performing against your budget. I mentioned earlier, I've been involved in budget and monitoring budgets and strategic plans in prior opportunities that I've had in my career, where I was responsible for a $14 million budget. That tied into basically ensuring that the project was delivered on time, within scope, and within budget. So maybe that type of experience could be helpful to the council in future years so that I can not only help council in ensuring that our fiscal responsibility obligations are met, but also provides maybe a minimal tax burden to our taxpayers. And that ties back into the capital improvement plan, that when you have infrastructure growth and you have an increase in revenue from growth of business development, that minimizes the tax burden for constituents, and that's going to be a nice situation to have to continue to balance the budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Singh.
At the very outset, I would say there is no escaping from a minimal budget increase. There is a cost of living increase, and we have to cover it. Same, it goes with the school system, school budget. And so there are two kinds of increases: the minimal increase, which we do not require any special step, and the board can decide. And if you need a bigger increase, then you need a special request and so forth. So minimal increase, maintain cost of living maintenance. This is a fact, and it's very, very, very difficult to promise that you will not increase taxes. Thank you.
Thank you. This is going to be the last question, and after that, you will each have 1 minute to give your closing statement. And for this last question, we're going to be starting with Dr. DiLorenzo. How would you define effective leadership at the local government level, and how would you embody it if you are elected?
I'm sorry, effective leadership?
Okay, how would you define effective leadership in local government, and how would you embody that if you are elected?
Okay, thank you. I would answer that question by doing a definition, or maybe talking about the difference between leadership and management. Management is telling an individual what to do. Leadership is an individual has a vision following someone, that they have a direction, and they want to follow that direction. For that individual has some value that they want to follow. So maybe one of the areas that I would like to answer on that one would be, possibly, if I'm blessed enough to receive this position, I can show through some examples of showing some type of skills that I might have, some collaborative nature I might have, an interest to be a team player, an interest to not know all the answers, but willing to learn as a lifelong learner, the ability to get training and more experience so that I can maybe be an example for council, the constituents, the community to say, maybe we can all work together to make Monroeville better. So those would be through maybe some activities that I might do as a councilman.
Thank you. Mr. Washington?
Yes, I think in order to lead, you have to listen first. I think I'm a very good listener. And then have a positive attitude towards what you're hearing and how to work with whatever you've heard and putting it into action. When I coached, I always talked to kids about setting the right example. And one of the things that I developed over the years was I called it the fear principle, and it was focus, effort, attitude, and repetition. And I taught the kids that's how you can be good at anything. You focus and you take in all the information that you can. You give an honest effort every day. You approach it with a positive attitude, and then you show up and practice when nobody else is practicing. So that's what I taught. That's how I've tried to carry myself. Dr. DiLorenzo is correct, management versus leadership, but first and foremost, you have to set the right example, and I think it needs to be positive, and I think you need to come off as a good listener, that you're willing to listen to what people's problems are, and you're willing to work with them to come to some kind of solution.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Ms. Ramsey?
I feel that I would bring a positive attitude, willing to work well with others. I am a team player, willing to listen to ideas and then collaborate with everybody to try to come up with the best answer on all sides of it.
Thank you. Mr. Biondo?
Yeah, I think I agree with what everyone said. I think first and foremost, you do have to be a good listener to lead. You have to know what you're leading people to, how to get to what goals you want to accomplish and how to get there, and then lead by example. I think setting a good example for the whether it be the rest of council, whether it be for my kids, you want to lead by example. You want to be the best you that you can be, and I think that I can do that. I think that I bring that to the table. I think I've done a lot. Though I am a little bit younger, I think that I've done a lot in my career already as far as local government, with local government experience, whether that be with the county, here in Monroeville. I just think that, the experiences that I've had in the past have given me the ability to set a good example for everybody, whether in the community and on council.
Thank you. Dr. Singh?
So I agree the way the leadership is being defined. And what I would say is that one of the important thing is to choose the right person and surround yourself with the right people. And especially when you have a new hire situation, new staff and so forth. So we do our best job to pick up the right people, most qualified people, unbiased. And that is a key thing to do, to surround yourself with the right people. And even in the council, the committee, and so forth, the best people for each of those jobs. And we can, then we will get most out of the people we have. And always, I mean, when we have a new position in whole entire municipality, we should be very transparent about it and try to get the best person. And that's my recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. So that is the end of the questions, and we will now have closing statements. And we will begin with Ms. Ramsey.
Just want to say thank you, tell you a little about myself. Allison Ramsey, live in Garden City, married with 2 kids. They're both in Gateway High School. My daughter will graduate next year. Been a volunteer firefighter, paramedic for 31 years. My family's been very in the public service for generations. They've also done the political for generations also. So I thank you for your support.
Thank you. Mr. Washington.
Oh, you jumped to me. John Patrick Washington. I'm going to go over my bullet points that I had in my bio here to give people an opportunity to. I'm a graduate of Gateway High School, class of 1986. I went to the Virginia Military Institute, played football. Graduated in 1990 with a BA in history. I grew up in Pitcairn until 86, moved back to Monroeville in 91. My wife Pam and both of my children, Nicolette and Jack, are all Gateway graduates. We bleed black and gold. I've been involved volunteering in the community for 20 plus years, mostly in youth and high school athletics. I have sales and management experience for over 25 years. I'm currently self-employed independent contractor, and I've been since 2020. I'm a committee member with the Monroeville Parks and Rec, Glenwood Condominium Community Board member. I was a Berkeley Square Community Board member, and my 3 words to describe Monroeville: diverse, vibrant, and recognizable.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Right on time.
I saw that.
Dr. DiLorenzo.
Well, first of all, thank you, Judy, for moderating tonight. Appreciate the help. One thing I want to mention to the group is I've been blessed to be living in the same house in Monroeville for 38 years on Colonial Drive with my wife and raising my children. And I'm very proud of being spending more time in Monroeville than any other place. I asked you to take a look at my background, my experience, business and academic career, my experience in community service back to Monroeville, and a variety of things. One thing that I look at is I've always had to believe that life is a journey, not a destination. So this is maybe a new journey in my life. I ask you to maybe follow me along this journey this year. You know that I'm unopposed in the primary, but in the general election, that will be an environment that hopefully we'll get a chance to get to know each other more, and stay tuned, and I'll see you in the fall. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Singh.
So I am an immigrant and naturalized citizen. I went to school, University of California, Santa Cruz, very liberal campus, and I did finish my degree. And then I have been in science career, research and some teaching, published papers, and also in retirement write poetry and other things few times into the magazines. And so I had a very humbling experience. I went door to door campaigning, and some people pointed me out that, hey, I voted for you when you went to a school board. And I'm thankful and just want a few more people who got to know me continue to vote. And thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Mr. Biondo.
Yeah, Ms. Clark, thank you for doing this. We really appreciate it. And Alex, thanks for putting this together. Look, I've been on council for the past 3.5 years. I think we've done a great job. I do want to stay involved, whether that be as mayor, and I'm asking for everyone that's watching to vote for mayor, or on council. I think we've done a great job over the past 3 years. They've been difficult times, but we've gotten a lot done. And I'd like to continue my service. I'll go through my background too, if that's okay. I'm an attorney by trade. I'm an assistant county solicitor. I'm currently represent the 7th Ward. I have twin 5-year-olds who will be starting at Evergreen Elementary next year. I want to keep this place a great place and safe place to live for my family and everybody else in the community. Whether I'm elected to one of these positions or not, I do plan to
Thank
stay
you.
involved in the community.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And now there are going to be some Election Day reminders for all of the audience here and online. The primary is Tuesday, May 20th. If you chose to vote by mail-in ballot, your ballot must be received by the county election office by 8 p.m. on Election Day, not postmarked May 20th. It has to be physically received there. If you need polling locations, you can visit the Municipality of Monroeville's website. There's a chart breaking down each of Monroeville's 7 wards into districts with each polling location noted. If you don't know what ward you're in, the site also includes an interactive map for you to search for your residence and corresponding ward. The website is monroeville.pa.us. That's monroeville.pa.us. Another resource for each election with information about candidates is a website from the League of Women Voters, vote411.org. That's VOTE411.org. You just type in your home address. Your whole ballot comes up, one race at a time, every election, all done by volunteers. You will see what offices and candidates are on your ballot. As much as possible, there will be information about those candidates, their photo, their background, and their answers to questions. However, with 130 municipalities and 43 school districts in Allegheny County, a record for the nation, local information is probably not there. But you will find all these details for all the statewide judges that we all will be voting on, and the County Court of Common Pleas judicial candidates, and the county sheriff. So give it a try. You'll be amazed. So that's vote411.org. You can look there for candidate information before every election. As mentioned before, this forum will be made available with several replays on this cable TV channel and also in its entirety on YouTube. The next few TV replays are on your screen now, and with the full slate on the municipal television website. As for YouTube, head over to youtube.com/Monroeville Municipal Television. That's youtube.com/Monroeville Municipal Television. Lastly, for updated election or voting information anytime, check out the website of the League of Women Voters of Greater Pittsburgh at lwvpgh.org, lwvpgh.org, all done by volunteers. It is amazing, and we are proud of it. You can find lots of information about elections and voting and probably answers to your questions. We hope that all of you are going to vote on May 20th, and we hope this forum provided you with information so that you can be a more informed voter. Thank you once again to the Municipality of Monroeville and its Communications Department for the venue and the production of this forum. For all of us here, I'm Judy Clack. Thank you for watching. Good night.